This is actually coming from the backdrop of the fact that from inception, Cpan had tried as much as possible to get the attention of JAMB. And JAMB, on their own aspect, feels recognizing Cpan in one way would bring to bear all demands of proprietors. So JAMB prefers having a demonstration that looks like a meeting. They call it stakeholder meeting. But that's just a whimsical demonstration where persons are planted to now play the devil's advocate and ask the questions intended by JAMB. So they just jump from Abuja, Abia, jump from one state to another. And at the end of the day, the real concerns of centers are not registered. But Cpan is a place where you get to hear why centers fail. You get to hear what is exam malpractice really all about. You get to know the truth. You get to know the problem. And Cpan is not just bringing a problem to you because they are the field. So Cpan also comes with the solution. We believe at this age and time that we should be more of solution-oriented. Then part of the programs we take out to solve these problems has been our conferences, workshops, and seminars, symposium. Our symposium is just on Saturday. JAMB feeling during the symposium, the Cpan will create more awareness, immediately put in accreditation as a means to discourage and engage proprietors from attending the symposium. That's just the basic truth. Then you will now be wondering, why would JAMB be giving CBT center owners 48 hours to set up a CBT center? You know what a CBT center is? A CBT center is a complex machine with 275 laptops that should be working. The LAN, everything should be working. The ACs should be working. At least our National Technical Committee had done a minimum cost analysis to power a CBT center for 3 hours. Would take nothing less than 150,000. No. Then during this accreditation, what you have is JAMB solution providers like CDMAC and other people that provide solution for them. They will use the opportunity to test run their software at our own expense. Nobody is paying for that. It will cost about 90 million to own all CBT centers in the country for, say, 3 hours where the accreditation will be done. And you are telling us to do this in 48 hours. What Cpan is saying is that if you really want a successful exercise, 21 days is on the average. Centers will carefully carry out accreditation. And we are also saying that this accreditation even should not even take place. Why? Because we have raised the alarm, which JAMB has not refuted, that the legion of people or ad hoc staff that were posted to centers in 2019, most of them don't know computer. You have professors, bring your friend, your neighbors, your cook, your kitchen cabinet, you just come and carrying computers to serve the Nigerian child. None of them have even the basic computer appreciation knowledge. Even when you decide to do that, why not partner with Cpan since we have the structure? You bring this person a week to the exam, we train them. Pro bono for free. The 20,000 naira cost for daily activities in centers was reduced from 20,000 to 10,000 in a time when centers are already complaining that they are not well paid. You wonder if the registrar really wants to encourage private center owners, CBT center owners, or he's just looking for a way to vanquish them, demonize them, and call them bad names. That's what we're saying. Facts are on ground, you know, and the solutions, they are still available for anybody to analyze. And we are not even saying this to discredit JAMB, raise dust, or make noise, as the case may be. Neither are we even saying this without profiling solution. But what we're saying is that during the era of Professor Dibu Ojerinde, we do not know the solution providers that were engaged. But part of the field experience was you could be in your office and you see somebody coming to say, I want to register JAMB, and they're on the queue. Like, why have you not registered that person? Because a center owner, they don't necessarily need to sit with computers doing registration. I have my staffs doing the job. And then you ask, why are you not doing, what's holding that chair? They say, it's not going through. Then when you now come close and look closely, you would see that the computer is giving you a sign that this person has been registered before. And when you definitely ask the candidate, have you registered before? He say yes. Then why are you trying to register now? He say, I want to write 2 times. So you go home. It's enough. But that of 2020 and in recent time, anybody goes by jumping, anybody goes, and JAMB is collecting the money. You say somebody registered 64 times, but you collected the money 64 times. Your system, the door is open, that everybody comes in, there is no regulation. Shouldn't it be that JAMB is apologizing? We are talking about at the level of registration, the failure of the biometric at the level of registration. The implication is this, that one person can write 5 exams. Simultaneous, right on Monday, right on Tuesday, right on Wednesday, right in the morning, right in the afternoon, right in the evening. That's the implication.
So it becomes a try your luck
kind of. It's an open system. You know, an open system means a farmer can come in, a mechanic can come in, a student can come in, a roadside person can, anybody can come in. And where the technology is not intelligent, what it also means is that anybody can write for anybody. There is no system in enrollment, which is not obtainable in national identity management scheme. Neither is it obtainable in driver's license issuance. Neither is it obtainable in national international passport or voter's card or even driver's license, as the case may be. But in the case of JAMB, we realize also the part of the failure was that there are 2 degrees, or even possibly 3. One, a candidate successfully registered. Then the candidate came on the day of the mock, did capture, it was successful. Then on the day of the exam, the candidate did capture and they did not see the candidate's data. And JAMB had said, if your capture just did not go, then you will not write the exam. Going by instructions, we insisted the children shouldn't go in for the exams.
Yes.
Many of them did not go in for the exams. Human Rights Radio took them to the street, did protest, and gave them opportunity to write. So what we are also saying is that we also have a situation whereby the biometric failed totally. So that even some candidates did capture, maybe they were seen, but they were not marked present. And that was the case. A constituent of Senator Ekwunife was reporting at the Senate. It was not fiction. It is a reality that that child was denied opportunity. And that is what we're saying, that the registrar should agree. For we are in the field, and we saw that it was a fact. Parents came, people came, and it's a fact. We are also apologizing on behalf of our members who were inadequate. Then we are saying that JAMB should apologize and will forge ahead. That's what we're saying. The MOU should, in the first instance, describe the project. What is it? What is the arrangement? It's a system where JAMB does not have the capacity to run CBT centers across the country. Very simple analogy. In Abuja here, JAMB had maybe 2 or 3 offices. But as we speak, you have about 40 CBT centers. Same is obtained in Lagos, about 80. You don't expect JAMB to have 80 offices, right? So JAMB is describing, like NIMC is doing, we want to increase capacity to do e-testing. This is what it will look like. This is what it will be. Then in doing this, these are the things the center should do. From experience, exam malpractice is an issue. For that reason, we bring NYSC to do this. From experience, technical incompetence has been a problem. For that reason, those that will be coming from JAMB should have certain level of certification. From experience, also, centers, you are inadequate. For that reason, this, A, B, C, D, you know. Even if they have the criteria to present an ICT firm to the nation, which many of my members are already keying into. And also, the memorandum of understanding of the document of relationship, we also talk about sustenance. We believe that a memorandum of understanding or document of relationship cannot be unreasonable. JAMB should write it that 600 naira is justifiable as payment for rentals in exams. That when children pay 4,000 naira, right? That a reading text, which they read and would contain 10, 15 questions, is 500 naira. Their main exam is 600. You should, the common sense, the justification is just not there. That you are paying 600 naira to centers. Then JAMB should open their record books. That's what we're saying. Through that MOU, you'll be looking at it. How much did you pay the professor that came and was acting as chief external exam officer? You paid a professor. Good. A professor is entitled to 10 billion. We know. Of course, we know that the professor should know he's serving the nation. Then your professor friend, you pay 1.5 million, 2 million. Then a CB center that I wrote the exam, your record book is showing that you paid the center 300,000. And you are a registrar. And this center is somebody that invested 25 million. And you are wondering why the person is crying. It's difficult for me to understand how you possess knowledge of discomfort and you are worried that somebody is responding to stimulus. It's just the MOU would envisage the sustainability of the CBT project, especially to state what is sustainable for a child writing an exam in a CBT center. It is a fact that can be tested, that as much as these children, while they bought their PIN, they had paid for reading text. Okay. Towards the end of the 2019 registration, the reading text, the distribution had a challenge and they got exhausted. Centers didn't have reading text to distribute to students. They have already paid for it because by virtue of buying the PIN, they have already paid for it. And JAMB also said that if you don't have reading text, you shouldn't register the children. The children had bought PIN. JAMB is saying if you don't have reading text, you don't register them. Then who is to give reading text? JAMB. You see the whole complications with the reading text thing. Then we are now also saying that who is this publisher to this reading text? Who every year goes home with almost $1 billion naira? And the justification is that we want to encourage reading culture. Wonderful. But these children pay 500 naira for each. For 1.9 million persons, it's almost $1 billion. I say, you want to encourage reading culture among young Nigerians, right? We agree. Set a 1 billion naira reading contest in this country. I can assure you that the social media will go viral. The social media will be, there will be no space in the social media for one of the 1,000 that will embark on a tour. A 1 billion naira reading contest. Because the intention is not for a publisher or the JAMB registrar or anybody in JAMB who is part of that contract to make money. The intention is to encourage reading culture. I say a 1 billion naira reading contest will turn every Nigerian child to a voracious reader. The scheme does not justify the objective. What you're saying you want to do is not giving us this. And every year you take almost $1 billion that is not remitted to the federal TSA. Even in rendering the service, you don't distribute the books well. The children just jump into the exam hall and they even fail some questions from that part. So the issue of reading text is so critical and it's not something you can overlook. JAMB accepting to use CB centers, as they call it accreditation, is not a validation of the investment CB centers have made. These investments are already there. Do you get it? The investment can be used by WAEC, NECO, NAPTEP. So the wrong notion, there's always the wrong notion. JAMB goes, in 2020, WAEC is warming up to actually go into CBT in their GCE. Making our presentation to WAEC, we realized that JAMB had presented the names of all CBT center owners, that they own all the CBT center owners before WAEC. Then we are now wondering, is JAMB going to be taking contracts from WAEC? The sensibility does not just, our head is not able to contain it. And in this document, we're talking about JAMB telling us to prepare for 48 hours accreditation. In that statement, they say we should arrange our tables for NIMC. Is JAMB doing contract with NIMC? Do you get? Then it's not a suspicion that JAMB is doing that. Because you have seen that JAMB had conducted NMPC exam. To what end? We can assure you that NMPC paid JAMB 300% above what they pay centers. I wouldn't want to be speculating. The media can find out. Then JAMB also did business with police. Of course, it's business. In this country, a government parastatal doing business than that government parastatal, is the economy not going to be laughing at us? Is it possible for a private person, and in this case, a startup business, to start fighting with government? Does it really make sense? Can I go into a business government is already into? I cannot be competing with JAMB. So JAMB is doing the wrong thing. JAMB is doing the wrong thing, mediating. As much as I tried my best not to use languages that are not civil. But the truth is, the dictionary meaning of what JAMB is doing is touting. That's just the dictionary meaning. Because who is a tout? When you go to Wuse neighborhood, you see them all over the place. They don't own shops. They wait for customers. They convince the customer. They do a good job. and sometimes give customers useful information and give the customers price, then take the customers to the owner of the shop. Sometimes when the activities begin to constitute nuisance, the association of the shop do away with them, but even at that, they are just there. So the tout now takes his own cut and give the comfortable shop owner what he feels. That's what JAMB is doing. Going to NNPC to say, we own the centers. Which center do you own? Then NNPC now says, okay, you own centers. How much are we going to pay you for exam? You agree, then you now come. You now start giving your fire brigade approach, set up your center, giving all sorts of insultive orders. At the end of the day, we are paid peanuts, and at the end of the day, what we get is the bad name. The bad name that comes from it, from police. What Cpan is saying is that in 2020, our CBC centers are open for Nigerian Army officers to come for free training. The Nigerian Army can just fuel the centers. The centers are doing nothing. What Cpan is saying is that the average Nigerian police officer can walk into the center and get trained. What Cpan is saying is medical doctor professionals can walk in. Cpan is saying that e-testing does not cost much. With your simple Firefox browser, as long as the institution has a trusted hand that has the question in their own server, when they just come into the center, they plug in. After the exam ends, the submission is done offline, and all data are received in the same laptop. Then, if it's police, they can go and process. If they want Cpan to do that, Cpan can do that. But if it requires training police officers, they are graduates, computer science experts. All institutions have these collections of people. So we can train them on how to also do the back-end management of their own data. Then the actual value for that service should be paid to centers. Then when all these things happen, we can assure you that CBC center owners can even conduct the JAMB exams for free as a national service. But JAMB should stop frolicking, jumping from one parastatal to another, making a representation for centers, just as they are doing with NIMC. And the arrangement with NIMC is just not working. The National Assembly had called that the crowd out there in NIMC office is just scary, right? Why Cpan is saying that we have been used to enrolling over 2 million persons within 50 days. If we start now, as our discussion with NIMC had been on, all centers, an average center enrolling 100 persons a day. That's very minimal, but we can enroll 100 persons. Let's just be conservative. 100 persons a day. 100 by 700 centers. You can imagine how many 700 centers should be able to enroll a day. That's about 70,000, right? Then you multiply it, you now get the real figure. But I can assure you that with adequate equipment, which banks are ready to support, and centers are ready to put in their own resources, there are centers that can enroll 500 persons a day.